Can't afford to take out a second mortgage for a cardio or a Senna Intercom? Have you considered one of these? Something considerably cheaper? Hang around, and after the fantastic intro, I'll tell you all about my experience with one of these. Well, I mean, there really nothing cool about riding a Triumph. Yeah, big ACK thumbs up. Hi, welcome. I'm ACK and you're watching ACK Rides. Today I'm going to be reviewing this little puppy, the Lexin B4FM Intercom. Now, as I says, I don't know, would you call Lexin a brand? I don't really know, but the point is they're considerably cheaper than a similar thing by Senna and Cardio. But I think the important thing to actually put out to you guys, because I've had one of these about, what, 18 months now, is the reality of what you actually get for your money, what it says it actually does, the reality of what it actually does, and who this is actually designed for. Because it's very, very good at doing very, very limited and specific things. As an overall unit, it's debatable. So let me go into the features from, obviously, Lexin's website, and I will go through each one in turn. Right, so it says 10 riders, group intercom with music sharing. No. Now, obviously got one. The first negative thing with this is, unlike some of the other brands, allegedly, I've not tested them, I don't know, is whereby you set it up and you pair it to, say, your pillion or your mate or whatever, it remembers that. So every time you turn the unit on, every time you turn the unit on, it remembers everything. But no, this doesn't. You have to go through the rigmarole of pairing this every single time you turn it on. So that's a minus. But it's not a massive minus because it's not massively difficult or time consuming to do. It's just maybe 2 or 3 button presses and you're paired to one unit. With regards to the 10 riders it's claiming and music sharing, I don't know about the music sharing, I can't comment on that, but I've never managed to get it to pair. Well, no, that's not true. I think on 2 occasions in the last 18 months I've got it to pair to a third unit twice. No matter how many times we go through the instructions, no matter who actually does the carrying out of reading out the instructions, because normally it'll be I go out, Mrs. Axe, she'll be on her bike, and our daughter will be on the back with me. So we normally have Mrs. Ack as the unit that we pair to, and then obviously we have to link the third rider, or the teenager, to us. Worked, as I said, 3 times in 18 months. That's no. And it sounds like I'm slagging this unit off, it does it, but trust me, I'm not slagging it off. It's just like my experiences, obviously. There are good and there are not so good. What else does it say? Bluetooth V5, yes it is. IP67 waterproof, yes it is. It is extraordinarily waterproof. I'll talk about that very briefly. I suppose it's probably a good idea to talk about that very briefly because that's where I'm at. We took this, as you know, last year to the NC 500 in Scotland. As you know, Scotland, yeah, it rains quite a lot. Apparently, quite hard for prolonged periods of time. And this thing was absolutely flawless. Even after, I will show you here on mine, this is it attached to the helmet, so you've got some sort of idea of the size of it on the helmet. But underneath, you probably can't see, I don't know whether you could see if I get any closer with that, there's a little hole here where the USB charger goes in, and there should be a little rubber flap to cover it. However, don't know how, don't know when, but obviously whilst we're up in Scotland when it's peeing down with rain all the bloody time, it came off. So it still worked. I mean, fair play to Lexin and the waterproofing. Oh, by the way, this is front and centre. I'm not getting any kickback from them at all, and they'll probably phone me after this and I don't know, want to sue me or something. But fair play to Lexin, seriously, with regards to the waterproofing, because even with that cover off and absolutely hooning it down with rain for like 6-8 hours for this like 3-4 day period. It worked absolutely flawlessly, even though water was getting in there. But what would happen is every, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes, Mrs. Ack would go hooting past me, so I'd have to stop and she'd have to reset it all again. So it'd work, then cut out, and then work and cut out, which, yeah, is a pain in the arse. But bear in mind, at that point, it's not waterproof, and water is getting in, and it's still working. So top marks to Lexin for that. What else does it say? Hi-fi speakers, music sharing, voice assistant, FM radio. Yeah, hi-fi speakers, very good, very loud. Music sharing, yes, it works. It's a bit antiquated. With regards to the audio quality in the hi-fi speaker, even with earplugs in, I ride with earplugs, and if you turn it up to the maximum volume, it is plenty loud enough, even with earplugs on. FM radio works, but it's not like DAB. Very old school tuning, buttons up and down. Signal as well, it can go off. Just like the old school pre-DAB radios where, you know, you go in a tunnel or, you know, you go out of area and the reception will get cracky and sometimes it'll just cut off. But I don't use it for the radio, so I don't really care. You might. What else is it saying? Shared blah de blah, music, hands-free, answer incoming calls. Yes, you can answer incoming calls once you set it up to your phone by the press of a button. It works reasonably well. USB-C quick charge, yep, 1 week standby time, which is probably correct. 15 hours of music, 13 hours of talk time. I don't know. I mainly use it for talking to Mrs. Ack when we're out and about, and I use it for commuting most days so I can have music on. Now, I could probably use it for maybe a week and a half with like 30 minutes of loud music each way, so it's an hour a day, week and a half before it needs charging. So I think that's pretty good. When we're up, for example, the North Coast the other year, yeah, we'd be talking away literally the whole day, and we'd be in the saddle for a good 8 hours a day. We charged it overnight just as a matter of course, but I reckon you get at least a day and a half out of it. Never had a problem with that. Oh yeah, package contents I'll put up as well, but basically it comes with absolutely everything you need to stick it into your crash helmet. As you can see, it's on the side of mine now, and it's just a little 3.5mm jack that goes in the back of the unit, that goes in underneath, and then you have to plumb in your speakers and then your microphone. It's got 2 separate microphones. You've got like a little phone microphone, or you've got a boom mic. I've got the little phone microphone. I've just velcroed it inside the mouthpiece here. Cost. Well, I don't have to talk about Senna and Cardio. We all know how expensive they are. But if you want to get one of these, well, actually, let me talk about why I think this is a fantastic piece of kit before I talk about the cost, because I've been slagging it off for the last 10 minutes. If you're simple, or if your needs are simple, like me, I only want it to talk to either Mrs. Ack or Ames, my daughter, if she's on the back with me. So I only need it for one other person, really. As I said, it hardly ever works for 3, so I can't comment on anything else because it just doesn't bloody connect. I don't know whether that's a fault for this unit or whether that's just a fault for them generally, I don't know, but yeah. If you just need a reasonable unit and all you're going to use it for is to potentially take calls, listen to music, I stream music from my iPhone, and just talk to one other, your mate on a bike, or someone on the back, I think for the money this is absolutely staggering. Especially if you factor in the waterproof factor that I told you about. When it is waterproof, it's great. When it's not waterproof, which this is not, it still bloody works. Excuse my French. I think it's absolutely cracking. So if you don't want to remortgage your house, as I said, seriously consider one of these. Let's quickly talk about pricing before I wrap this up. If you go to Amazon now, you get a pair of those for 161 quid. One of them for 99.99. If you go to AliExpress, I mean, I've shopped off AliExpress. I don't know, would it replace Amazon for me? No, but I know a lot of people who do use and have never had an issue with AliExpress. It's just a new retailer for me. I'm funny and old school. But anyway, if you go to AliExpress, there's obviously many sellers, but the average price for one of these in sterling with 3 deliveries, £56. And a pair of them, £115. Personally, I think that's absolutely fantastic for the money. Yeah, so that's my initial impressions. Fantastic if you want simplicity. Not so great if you want, well, speak to lots of people over a massive distance of time. That's something we're not spoken about, distance. They claim 1,000 feet. Doesn't have to be line of sight. Doesn't have to be line of sight, which is good. But what I don't understand, there's no continuity in the coverage. Sometimes I can literally be, I could see Mrs. Ack in front of me and she's no more than what, 30 yards? And I struggle to hear her, crackly, crackly, crackly. That might just be we're going past a mast or something. Or sometimes no coverage whatsoever. Sometimes I can't even see her and it's crystal. So, yeah, but not being funny, if you're going out for a ride with somebody, you don't want to lose sight of them anyway, do you? Well, I don't know, maybe you do. Yeah, so I think that's absolutely it. Consider one of these. Please consider subscribing, it helps me out enormously. If you like the video, press the like button. If you got anything to say, any comments for me, any comments about this, any questions, stick something in the comments below. And I think that's it. Yeah, very rough and ready, very quick. But in essence, if you want something cheap to do simple things, give this consideration. Right, until the next time, Ack out.